Can I chew? I better not chew too loud either, huh?
Can you imagine staring into a deep crevice that has been carved all the way through rock, creating some of the most rugged wildlands in the United States? Have you ever seen something that is so large that your senses are absolutely dominated by it? Have you ever stood on the edge of a precipice that drops for thousands and thousands of feet? Good afternoon. My name is Mary Small, and I want to share my trip to the Grand Canyon with you. It has greatly impacted my life by giving me a very immense appreciation for the Grand Canyon and a new philosophy on my behavior in the wilds of the United States. I never realized the great beauty and importance of the Grand Canyon until I went on a trip there. I've always enjoyed going to different parks, to county parks, to state parks, to national forest recreation areas with my family. Growing up and with our 2 kids and my husband now, we enjoy camping, and we just really enjoy the outdoors and just all that it has to offer. This last spring, 2013, we had watched a wonderful PBS show on the national parks, and that is when we saw just the history and some of the most breathtaking views of the Grand Canyon, and we thought this sounds like a really fun trip. So we decided it would be a great destination, and we went on a family trip there. We talk about it often still, and we hope to be able to go back and visit the North Rim. The Grand Canyon was inspiring and life-changing for me. It really made me realize that I needed to be personally responsible to leave these places of wonder with no trace of me behind. I want other people to be able to enjoy going to the Grand Canyon and to other national parks without seeing a little bit of trash that maybe fell from our packed-in lunch or from our vehicle. The opportunity came that we could get excellent flight rates into Las Vegas Airport. We rented a small economy car, and off we went. We went to the south of Vegas, and then we took the South Rim Road, and we just drove into the Grand Canyon and parked. And when we first saw it, I was just touched beyond belief. I was actually wordless for a while, even though that's hard for my family to believe. We knew that visiting this would be a fabulous family experience, but I had no realization that it would actually impact my philosophy. Visiting the Grand Canyon made me realize that this natural God-given creation should be left in a pristine state, and that I was responsible for myself to leave as little of a trace as I could. So, I was in one of the most breathtaking and awe-inspiring places I had ever seen, but I also had a deep sense of sadness that the huge amount of visitors could damage this place. The Grand Canyon is located in Arizona, and it's been carved out by the Colorado River over thousands of years, leaving behind this just amazing maze of gorges and canyons, plateaus, and buttes. This place on God's earth really struck a chord within me. As we were driving into the park, I was just amazed by the sheer volume of traffic going in there. There's campers, buses, just tour buses filled with people, 15 passenger vans, pull behind campers, just all sorts of all vehicles. We had to wait in line for approximately 20 minutes just to get into the park. Once we got into the park and actually found a place to park, that took a long time. There were throngs and masses of people everywhere, long lines waiting to get into the bathroom, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning. We followed the path down to the main vista area, and we were absolutely stunned by the view before us. I don't know if you can see any of these pictures that I have going in the background, but it is awe-inspiring and breathtaking. The way the sun hit the rocks, you know, some of the rocks were like a deep plum color, some were an ochre. You had striations and bands of different colors. And when the sun would hit the Colorado River in just such a way, it just almost looked like a piece of silver chain that was running through. It was just amazing. You know, as we started to walk all around the different viewpoints, you know, the sense of sadness just struck me, because there were cigarette butts and bits of garbage left, and people didn't put their garbage in a can, they put it next to the can, and people would trample around the trails because, you know, someone was walking too slowly to get to the next viewpoint. You know, I had this deep sense that the amount of visitors and the lack of personal responsibility of park goers, it could just totally destroy a place like this. You know, there's something sacred about this place, and I just felt a personal responsibility to really be watchful of my behaviors and to leave no trace of Mary in that park. It's changed the way I feel about conservation in this park and in all the other parks, even my local parks. You know, in this park in particular, it gets close to 5 million visitors in 1 year. You know, how can any place sustain that amount of humanity going in and out? I just know that I have to do my part in helping to protect this God-given treasure. I was touched by the wonder and the awe of this piece of incredible earth, and a bit heartbroken by the way that we humans sometimes leave these places in the way that I was before I visited here. You know, I wouldn't have thought much if a pop cup maybe fell out of the car or something. It moved me to be a more responsible person, a more responsible park visitor, and I take my refuse with me. I will take others' refuse with me, and I will be considerate of these cathedrals. This place has left an indelible mark on me. I want to leave no trace. John Muir said it best: take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, kill nothing but time. Thank you for letting me share with you about my trip to the Grand Canyon.
Great show, Mary. You made that in 8 minutes.